guys, welcome to Conversations of the Soul. I am one of your co-hosts, Dr. Kiki Michelle.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is life coach Kendall Anderson, aka Coach Ka.
And the fashion guru and designer, Mr. Carlyle.
And we are your Conversations of the Soul team.
Yes.
Wow. So we have a new president in tow, a new vice president, second lady in tow, okay?
And the first gentleman.
The first gentleman in tow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I am supporting with my pearls. You were supposed to wear your pearls.
Yeah.
So, wow, no matter who you voted for, this is an opportunity to say congratulations. Hopefully we can work towards, unity and bring some of the isms and schisms and divide away as we move forward.
Isms and schisms.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, because some people are still very upset. Some people have a lot of disdain in their heart. Some people feel like it was a stolen election. Some people feel like, it's just a lot going on. Regardless, people have really strong feelings. And at a point, I think we have to be committed to moving forward, right? So we can live in peace and harmony and get this pandemic under control, and people open their businesses and get back to work, children in school, or whatever, wherever you are in this level playing field. It's time for us to kind of bury the hatchet. Now, if there is stuff to come up and out, we still have those missing laptops, okay? You still have investigations, okay? The previous administration probably will or will not, I don't think he will, face impeachment. Who knows? That's all yet to be seen, okay? The next couple of hours, days. You have just everybody's trying to get acclimated with their new roles. John Ossoff from Georgia, Reverend Warnock from Georgia, everybody's being sworn in. So it's an opportunity for us to, I guess, see what's gonna happen. I know up and down my timelines, people are just ecstatic. If they're not, they're real quiet. But most people are, hey, it's like they've been born again,
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a new day. 46 is in, 45 is out. So, it's been and even the sun came out today. It was very warm. It was a beautiful day. They had awesome weather in the capital. So, and I was just enjoying it all. Everybody was a little teary.
Did you shed a tear?
Everybody was.
That was a yes or no, Mr. Carlyle.
Everybody was teary-eyed.
I shed a tear. I was like,
a lot of firsts.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of firsts.
Yeah. So,
and the young lady, Amanda, she did an excellent
22
job.
years old. That was awesome.
Yes.
That took my heart there. I really enjoyed that one.
That was, that stole the platform on that one for sure. Her poem and just speaking ability. The new Maya Angelou. How about that?
Hey, you had Oprah looking and making nice comments. Everybody was touched.
Yeah.
I wish this administration the best because at the end of the day, we're all Americans, right? We may have varying differences of opinion and views and beliefs, but at the end of the day, my Bible tells me to let's pray for our leaders. So whether we pick the leader or not, we're commanded to pray for them. They're making decisions for us.
And the ladies are making a statement today in the fashion category.
Shout out to First Lady Michelle Obama. Woo, woo.
Oh, yeah. And using a black designer, Sergio.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Sergio Hudson. Awesome black designer. She was wearing the outfit by him. And the other ladies, Queen J-Lo was in the building.
She did her thing New Year's Eve today as well.
She was rocking it all white.
She looked good.
She looked good.
Lady Gaga, she had to make sure that y'all saw her with her gown on. You know, she was. I mean, everybody did an awesome job, I think. You know, and song selection and everything that was done. I think it was very, very well. Um, Dr. Biden looked well in her outfit too.
She
There
did.
was those long coats, those duster coats were popping, you know, for sure.
Class is never out of
they were
style.
popping.
Yes.
So, you know, they was showing what they could do, you know. First Lady Michelle Obama from her interest and everything with her and my man, cool Mr. Obama.
He's a statement all by himself, okay?
He can rock it anytime, you know. He can fall up there anytime with a smooth walk. He catches the crowd for sure, you know. But it was a beautiful day. I thought it was great. You know, everything went well. You know, they even showed the excellence of President Trump flying away to back to Florida.
I missed that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They showed him leaving
Saw that.
in the helicopter for the last time. You know, leaving the White House. And thank you. Bye bye.
So our conversations episode topic is overcoming the stigma. Woo. Overcoming the stigma. Most Black and brown people, most women, most people who come from maybe you're your first generation of this or second generation of that, wherever you may come from, sometimes there's a stigma that comes with you regardless of your own efforts. So we are going to talk about, of course, we're still at the top of the year. 2021 is still showing us some amazing things. Thank God we are all still here. So let's talk about, how do you overcome this stigma? Like in terms of, outliving the negative that is a family trait, or sometimes it can be construed as a generational curse. Everybody in the family had babies at 11 years old, or whatever the case is. We want to talk about overcoming the stigma. Coach K, you've been quiet. What's going on?
Hey, I'm good. I'm just sitting back enjoying the conversation myself, chipping in when I can. But the topic is definitely a great topic for the beginning of the year. Like we talked about earlier, we've already changed hands as far as leadership is concerned. Now, as a people, we still have a job that we got to do for our own personal lives, because they're going to do what they're going to do. But we still, as a people, have to come together first, not as a group of people, but we have to first come together in our own minds, because if your mind is divided, we as a people will continue to be divided. So when I think about, the stigmas, overcoming the stigmas, I think the first thing for me is to get educated. You got to get educated, meaning this: you have to understand the truth about your history, the truth about your generation, the truth about whatever stigma is on you. I think should propel you to understand and get educated on the truth of what is it true or is it false. Now, if it's true, how can you break that stigma? If it's false, now you can let go of that stigma and still walk in your true power. So I will start with just getting educated first. That would be my first answer.
Okay. Education.
Yes.
Okay.
Get educated.
Matching facts with fiction. Learn what the facts are. And whatever you're doing, as far as for your family traits and family history. People like, oh wow, we used to do this, or we shouldn't have done this way. Or it'll bring about bring out the roots. And and you got a lot of people that still believe in that, and curses and so those those things, you just gotta learn how to overcome them, and push forward and make a change, do something that's really different than the norm,
Be the change.
Yeah. So learning the facts of whatever it is that that you believe in, and knowing what's true and what's not, and what direction to go, to just overcome what people say is a stigma, or that's what I think.
Okay. Well, so both of your points, I definitely will come back to those. I wanted to share that in my um, vantage point. Sometimes people get it twisted and not realize. Guess what? We have our own individual fingerprints for a reason. So regardless of my family line or what's in my DNA, or if they were to say, all those people with that last name, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta watch out for them, or what have you. We all have in our own possession the ability to be a trailblazer starting from now, right? You don't have to, be the next one who, drops out of school, or the next one who's, everybody in the family is just in the jail prison system. Certain things people feel like, well, my mama did it, my daddy did it, my great grandmama, hey, it's just in us. This is who we are. Well, at a point we can say, you know what? I don't have to do this. I don't have to, go down that same negative alley, right? And with that, I'm overcoming the stigma because I'm making decisions that prevent me from being a statistic. Sometimes we're stigmatized just because of the way we look, or um, the way we respond. It can be something that you're doing that reminds somebody else of, I remember so and so, and they paint you in that similar fashion of someone you probably don't even know of, you know? So now, education, Coach K, you're saying, overcoming the stigma with education.
Uh-huh.
You want to expound upon that?
Well, yeah, like you were saying earlier, we have our own fingerprints on it as well, but then some things can be, handed down, so to speak. Or let's deal with, the generation of racism and blacks being enslaved. I mean, if you get that deep, it gets more emotional. But if you begin to study history, not the history that they give us in school, you got to do your own research and you got to dig up history. Like they try to hide it, you have to re-dig it up, and yet you may have to do a lot of research and understand that your life didn't start off in slavery. That's not our true story. It became that way because we forgot who we are in a sense, but our true story, we were very highly intellectual people, highly spiritual people. We ran the country, we ran the world. Things ran a lot more smoother because we had a mindset of fairness. We didn't have a mindset of conquering and divide. We didn't have a split mind with black and white. So we got, conquered. The Romans came and then the Greeks came and they took all of our stuff, stolen all those things, rechanged everything. But they don't tell you these things in school for a reason. So that's why I said, if you can just educate yourself, you can kind of see what's going on. And even to this day, we are in 2021. And those things that happened thousands of years ago is still being played out today. And God has raised up many different men. We just honored Dr. Martin Luther King, one man, but I'm sure a lot of us have had those dreams or had that calling on our lives. But for some reason, he was highlighted because he stepped out and he tried to help us. And he left a legacy behind. And not only that, a lot of us weren't really getting with him on that. So, a lot of things happen in that. So I say that to say that we have to get re-educated, relearn some things, let a lot of the false content go, and just get realigned to our true purpose in life. And I think that's when the true healing is going to come.
Nice, nice. So Mr. Carlyle, you were saying, fact versus fiction. You know, you want to expound upon that?
Well, it's just like in education. Okay, I grew up in Virginia, and our history, as being told to kids living on the East Coast around Virginia, it was totally different. We wasn't taught Black history. We wasn't taught about more. Teachers wasn't telling us everything about our Black historian and the great inventors, and it was a shame because we were just locked into you know, things that happened in Virginia, you know, and all the historical um, sites there, you know, and from, you know, we were stuck on Captain John Smith, you know, and Pocahontas, you know, and in Jamestown, you know, and matter of fact, I mean, we even, you know, had field trips, you know, to go to, you know, places like that, to Colonial Williamsburg, you know, and so everything, John Quincy Adams, and it was more on the history of the U.S., you know, so a lot of things we wasn't like on time. Black History Month came around. Yes, we would, you know, bring out something about someone in Black History Month, you know, in February. But other than that, we would just seem to be locked in on things that was going on in Jamestown and Colonial Williamsburg days, you know, and learning more of the history surrounding Virginia, you know, and not Black history makers, you know, and who made the stoplight and you know and things like that and other things that the Black um, inventors made. So you know, it was just a lot at that time that a lot of the students we were just all just featured and taught uh, American history and not Black history, and that goes more and mean more. You know, it's more powerful to know about your own Black history. You know, now it's everywhere. Black history is taught everywhere. You know, more so than back in the '70s during that time. So, um, you know, it's something new that's necessary, and in today's life, in today's growth and teaching of students, you know, they should know more about Black history. So, you know, so that clears the path, you know, for that stigma where everything's done by white people. So, you know, everything's not created, you know, by someone white. There was a lot of Black inventors and professionals and teachers. Booker T. Washington, you know, you're going from learning about peanuts and how peanuts, and then even Madam C.J. Walker, you know, those people who started the hair products, you know, and and being a millionaire, you know, first Black millionaire. So, you know, these things you learn more about and bring it to light, you know. So
Absolutely. And there is a lot of stigmas. I mean, and some people choose not to educate themselves on what is, right? We just continue to say, oh, I'm not going to worry about it. And with education, if I don't know where I've come from, I'm doomed to repeat it, right? If I don't know my history, if we don't know how things evolve, how do we get to this point? It's very possible that if it's not in a good position, that you'll end up there again because you don't have education. Well, you know, it was something that you were saying, and it took me back to when I first moved to Atlanta from Rochester. There were several people in college who were from kind of like, they called it the sticks, you know, the sticks in New York, Rochester, Syracuse, Buffalo. You know, you were not from the city.
okay.
But because they had a stigma of, especially, and this was more towards what I'm going to get my point to, is the guys.
Mm-hmm.
When someone would say, "Oh yeah, what's up? Where you from? Where you repping from? Where you know?" and they say New York, it was automatically assumed that you were from New York City and you were tough and you know you didn't come to play and you know what's your name is. You know. And then and so I've seen people, it's like, wait a minute, we was in the same class together, okay? You are not from New York City. And so you would see them just assume this whole nother identity, trying to be a tough person, and even their accents change. You're like, No, you know that ain't even how you talk. But it's yo, what's up? You know, what's up? Yeah. But it was a stigma.
You weren't as hip as.
Yes. It's like you're from Rochester.
You're from Rochester.
You're from Syracuse, darling.
From the city.
Yeah, but it was a stigma.
You're not as cool as.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, so why did you feel like, you know, because they think you ain't from the city, you ain't tough, you ain't hard. Right. Now I gotta act and perk like
you country. From Syracuse, you from Buffalo. That means you country. You're not from the city.
Right, but you know, you're
not from the city.
And I've seen people live, you know, play into that. Like, I don't take no junk. You know, we represent. And you know, you've never even been in New York City, but you down here from class to class, you know, repping like you're from somewhere that you're not, perpetrating like you're from somewhere and you're not. And it's a stigma. It's like, well, if you're not from a certain bureau, then you're from the country.
You know you're from Greece, right. New York.
Right. Hey,
you're from Brooklyn. BK.
Yo, what's up?
BK, you know.
Hey, I take it even further.
Yeah. You know you're from Greece.
And there's something wrong with that. It's just, you know, it's a stigma where people sometimes feel like based on their environment, they have to perpetrate or, you know, project something that's not them. And so with that example, sometimes if you are from a stigma-based lifestyle or everybody in your family did this, or it doesn't have to be negative. You know, if everybody in my family had to be judges, you know, and there's a lot of pressure, we came this way and you know, this is what you have to do. Sometimes people don't want to live up to that stigma. Like, well, I don't even want to go to law school. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily have stigmatization doesn't have to be all negative, but how can we overcome it and how can we outlive it? Like, because with that example of not wanting to, you know, be a judge, you know, if that's my lineage, or everybody that comes through this household is going to be a judge, and I decide, you know, I want to go and open up a tattoo parlor, there's a stigma attached to that because now you're disgracing us. Like, that's not what you do, you know? Mm-hmm. So stigmas can go in several different directions. It doesn't have to just be, you know, all of us were, you know, something terrible. It could be something that you just say, you know what, well, that's just not my thing, you know?
I agree. I just think to destroy that stigma is to stay true to yourself. I mean, when y'all were talking about the bureaus and stuff like that, I even take it further, right in your own city, wherever city you're at. It don't have to be New York. You got brothers and sisters. I'm from the South Side. I'm from the East Side. You see, so as if South Side is more rougher than the East Side. That could be true, but it doesn't mean that I'm weaker than you. It just means that side of the city is most likely probably rougher than the city that's on, that's on the East Side. So all of these stigmas, I'm just thinking that you just have to just stay true to yourself and just be honest with yourself. If somebody's going to accept you for who you are, to me, just be yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you got to be something that you're not, it's not going to last long. So if you're not going to accept me because I don't appear to be tough because I'm not from Brooklyn, then so be it. I'll just stick with somebody that's going to accept me for who I am, because it's not it's not, where you're from. It's really who you are that makes a difference. And by the way, New York City, certain places in there, I'm sure a lot of those people, one, probably want to get out but can't. Two, they had no choice but to get tough because of the environment they're in. When you really think about it, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, which one you going to pick? Well, some of them just pick to be tough because they know they ain't going nowhere, or they may not have a vision to go anywhere. But it's not like, again, it's not the Kiki, like you said, it's not that it's all bad. It's just that's the environment you had to grow up in that's shaping and molding you for who you are.
And there's a lot of people in New York never even visit or travel out of New York. You know, I mean, I have some cousins and people that I know, they don't go anywhere but stay in New York all the time. And because one, they're not interested in seeing, other cities, and just like I got friends in Virginia, same way, they lived in Virginia for, 30, 40 years. never travel from, you invite them, hey man, hey, come and visit me in Ohio, or visit me, up in Chi-Town, come see what, oh man, I'm not going, oh no, I don't get on planes, I don't travel, so you got them thinking that, hey, the world is just right here, and that's something that a lot of people don't travel. I know a lot of people don't go places at all. They'll stay right there in the city they grew up in all their lives, doesn't visit anywhere. They don't go anywhere. They just do what they do right there in the city they live in. They're not even interested in going to see the world.
Wow.
Because things like that, you're like, wow, you're 60 years old, never been nowhere else but Newport News or Rochester, New York.
Oh, get up off those. Hey, that's my city.
And they don't want to travel. You got to go see them. If you're going to see them, just like my cousins, I'm like, wow, I haven't seen you in years, and unless I make a trip up to New York, I don't see them. You don't get to see them. They got kids now, and they grown. You don't know who your cousins are.
Reunions are important.
And now, hey, you can't even have a family reunion, because of COVID, and same thing with, usually you see everybody at funerals. Okay, now you can't even go to a funeral. The funeral home tell you, no, you can't have no more but the family members and 10 other people. Just 10 people as a graveside service. So it's even harder now, to even see your relatives, hug them. And, I mean, we used to be called kissing cousins. Everybody hugged,
that ain't cool.
everybody kissed, and I mean, love on each other, because all y'all kiss.
No, bro, no. No, don't put my family in that
every
way.
time your family, y'all hugging.
No, yeah, but we
like
wasn't
that.
kissing cousins,
and
mean
y'all was
something else.
kissing and hugging on your cheeks and stuff like that.
Oh, clear that up.
Yeah,
nah, bro, we don't do that.
Y'all were kissing cousins all your lives, you know it.
Coming up next on Conversation of the Soul,
kissing cousins.
I just want to say something. I remember, because I pretty much lived a sheltered life. Okay, it was church, it was school. I was really involved in several activities. Like, my parents let me participate in everything. When I say every day of the week, I was doing something. I was going somewhere. I was involved, teams, sports, clubs, singing, you name it. And I remember when I got ready to leave to go to college, which was miles away from New York to Georgia, I'll never forget, people will pull me to the side and say, I'm going to give you 1 year. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you to the end of your first semester. You're going to be back here. You're going to be pregnant. Watch. Like, they're telling me about what they see for me, like they're not even talking to me. And I'm looking around like, what? So that's a stigma. There's a stigma that everybody gets, away, and they, now,
pregnant.
Yeah, you're on your own now, and
you be back home.
Mom and daddy ain't telling you what to do, and watch. But I was shocked at the boldness that person would tell me that, because you'd already stigmatized me, okay? And so it's really sad. Well, let me just say, I did not come home, after my first semester in college pregnant. I was not pregnant my first semester in college, and I did finish and I moved on. But what I'm sharing is that there are people who will seek to stigmatize you even once you live past your own stigmas.
Well, they'll wish that on you.
Yeah, that part.
Uh-huh.
Why you want to wish something negative on people?
You just look that way. Is that what it is?
Oh, you getting in trouble tonight, Coach K.
Sometimes, people might assume too much. They're like, well, I know you're gonna be gone, but you'll be back.
You don't have what it takes to make it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to grad school, huh?
Yeah, you're not gonna do this. You're not gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember starting my doctorate program and being told from people, oh, good. Well, my mom started that program and it nearly killed her. Good luck. And she didn't finish. And so you have people who are projecting these, like, how do you feel comfortable telling somebody that? And we're not even that cool, right? Like, you just come up and say, let me just bless you with this curse, because I hope this is what happens to you. At what point at the point you have to decide, they are lying, that is not my truth, I own my destiny, I will own my own success.
Maybe they haters.
Maybe, I don't know.
They don't want you to succeed,
I mean, and it's everywhere. You have to understand, I'm going to own my failures. I'm going to own my successes. I'm going to grow from it. And that's what it's called, life, But people seek to stigmatize you just for GP, general principle, I mean, they just want to somehow show that you don't have what it takes. You're not good enough, Well, you think you're feeling kind of good. Let me just bring you on down to reality,
You just gotta tell them, watch me.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll show you. And just do it. Just jump right on in it. Keep it moving. Be successful. Then come back and then show them your degrees.
And see, when you don't come home pregnant and bent over and in shame, and I'm not making fun or light of that scenario because it happens all the time. But when that's not your story, then they'll say, oh, well, she must have got rid of the baby. Or, oh, they must have bailed. Yeah, he was in jail because remember, we ain't seen him on social media all this time. Yeah, they must have bailed him out. Like, people will seek to, like, support their stigma of you. Like, who gives you permission? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who do you think you are to just write somebody's story like that? And then at a point, why are we so willing to give so much power away to live and believe and bring such a stigma to life? I do believe that we have what we say. Life and death is in the power of our tongue. It's so important to be careful what you say to people.
Right.
Certain things can be self-fulfilling prophecies,
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I was talking before. I don't think you can hear me. But I think a lot of times the people, based on experience, oftentimes, like you said earlier, project how they feel about themselves on you. A lot of times they don't have that vision, that drive to want to go to school and be successful in life. So they can't see you doing that because that makes them feel bad. So they got to kind of put that out there for whatever reason the case may be. It could be haters, like he said, Mr. Carlyle was saying, but oftentimes it's just they have a negative viewpoint of who they are. They don't know themselves. If not, they should really celebrate. That's the problem we have today. We need to celebrate each other versus becoming envious and jealous of one another.
Right.
That right there. That's, yeah.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's like, if anybody that I know or know of who are doing great and positive things, I'm happy for them. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, wonderful, Mm-hmm. But some people hear it and think, oh, well, we're going to have to wait and see. Well, time will tell.
I don't mind giving people a shout out, kudos. I do that all the time on Instagram or Facebook. Somebody did something outstanding or accomplishment, even birthdays, I would wish them well, happy birthday, or kudos, or compliment what they have done, especially another designer if they did, a great job. Some people don't even do that. They don't want to commend you, on doing a great job, but then they watch and what you're doing and then copy it, or try to do the same thing what you're doing, or learn from you, even doing fashion shows. You know, you have people coming to attend your fashion event, or so they can learn. They want to be behind the scenes. They want to watch. You know, and learn, observe everything that you're doing, to learn things so they can start the same business or do the same thing as you doing. You see a lot of that. And because you be like, wow, I didn't know that. They knew how to do this. I didn't know they did that. Next thing you know, they're having a fashion show. Next thing you know, they are designers. Next thing you know, they're selling jewelry. So, you can see it, every time. You have a lot of followers. They follow you to learn what you're doing, so they can pick it up and go to the next level, So, sometimes people just, they want to be attached. They're just almost like leeches. They with you all the time. They're watching what you're doing, and coming out for another reason other than supporting you. They're also there to learn what you're doing. They want a free class.
That I was just gonna
they
say.
Want a free class.
If you see
free
somebody
training,
doing
on the
something,
job training.
Right. I mean, what's wrong with asking, hey, can you show me the ropes because I'm interested in such and such, versus trying to sneak behind and undermine and, oh, why did you do this? You like nitpicking on every little thing. It's enough for everybody to eat. It's enough for everybody to trail their own path and be successful. Like, you're gonna have people doing similar things. I think the issues sometimes come in where now I want to jump and do what they're doing, and now I need to put them down in some kind of way to give myself an advantage. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna work with so-and-so anymore because, or something negative. Hey, if this is what you believe you're born to do, just do it. You don't have to throw somebody else up under the bus.
That's right. I mean, you could be the first. Some people are the first to go to college. Some people are the first to even graduate from college. And I'm saying all that to say I celebrate those type of people because they could have been like their families, or could have been like, their friends that didn't go, but they had to fight through a lot of things. A lot of times you just don't know what people had to go through to get to where they're at. Even my mother, she just graduated from college about maybe 10 years ago. She went back to school because she did not go to college when she left from South Carolina. She came all the way up to Baltimore. And then from Baltimore, she moved over to Rochester, New York. And that's when she started having us. But she decided to raise a family. And then in her late 60s, she decided to go to school, and she still pursued her dreams, and she got her dreams. Some may say it's late, but I say it's never too late.
Never too late.
You have a passion and the drive and the vision to go get educated, go for it. It don't matter what people may think or say. It don't matter how old you are. As long as you have that drive and you have that passion in your heart to do it, do it. That's why I want to kind of commend the audience that's going to listen in. Don't listen to your haters. Don't listen to those that are on the sideline. Don't listen to even your family if they are against what's in your heart. You be true to yourself and watch God do this.
And shout out to Mrs. Anderson, okay? She was
yes.
always classy, okay?
Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay. Shout out
you.
to Elder Anderson, okay?
Right. They remember you.
Always a lady, when I say just fully dressed. I mean, her hats, her hair, everything matching. She just walked with such a finesse and class. I was like, okay. Right?
Right.
So, what you're saying is so true, though. Whatever the stigma is, you can live past it. And that's what I want this people to walk away from today. As we move towards the top of the hour and the end of the show, understand you are not those stinking, dirty, nasty things people have said about you. You are not the labels that they have given you. You are not everything that amounts to the things that they claim that you will amount to. Most times it's negative. You ain't nobody. You're just like so-and-so. Oh, did you hear about so-and-so who tried the same thing? That's not your lot in life. So you have to live beyond the stigma. Does that mean I'm going to make everything perfect and never make mistakes? Of course not. We're human. But you're going to live your life. You're going to be successful. You're going to learn and grow. And you are going to dispel the stigma. Like, it goes away with you. Like, you can be, if there's a generational curse, the curse stops with you. Okay. If there's something that everybody did because, well, that's so-and-so's child, and well, at a point, listen, I don't have to die broke. I don't have to die, or even live a life of just failures and hoping and wondering and waiting for my turn. It's like, regardless as to what my zip code was when I was born, I can change my zip code as I move through life. That doesn't have to be the same zip code. And that could be a mental zip code, a physical, spiritual, financial. You have what it takes in you to change, and you are not the things that people say that you are. If you want to move past that, you have everything you need right in your own mirror to move past those stigmas if you choose.
Right.
Right.
And some people say, hey, I'm gonna be just like so and so, good, bad, indifferent. And that is a choice too. But sometimes we have people who are not as strong minded, or they are just more followers than leaders, and they feel like because everybody else around them is doing the same thing, they don't have a choice. That's not the case. You have a choice. You can live past the stigma.
Be you. Start your own thing, you know, and people learn from others, and then I like watching people do things, and people say, well, how did you come up with that idea? How did you learn that? By watching others, and same thing with, that's just like fashion, you know, all the trends are just, just they come up just by different ways, the layer look, the layer look came from having to see people, homeless people.
Mm,
Yeah, homeless people wearing 2 or 3 coats,
right.
and it varies. Um, I used to love. I mean, even a wrap. A wrap was a blanket. You know, a wrap thrown over you. To keep warm.
Yeah, I got my wrap
And
on.
yeah, and you put a hole in it. You got your poncho.
Right.
So and various things come out just like that. And fringe the ends of it. You got a whole different look again. So it's that's like starting a new fashion trend. I used to go to the airports. I used to wonder why you see people sometimes. Do you know people be watching you and even drawing what you have on, or taking pictures of you just to get that style and take it home, or creating that style of their own. Um, I used to be people like, oh, can I take a picture of you? Can I take a picture with you? I love that outfit, and you can feel somebody watching you as you sit down waiting for your plane, and they drawing, they looking up at you and drawing you, and I'm like, wow, what's going on? You never know. They're creating your look and taking it to another level. So it's strange sometimes how things come about. It's
So true. Yep. And there's stigmas to say, certain ethnicities can't work together. Certain genders can't work together. Those are stigmas. Because if we don't dispel those stigmas, guess what? We're going to play right into them. And then that's going to be the crutch.
right.
Well, they did say we can't work together, or yeah, that's not cool. Like,
Right.
we're standing sometimes in the way of our own success because of stigmas.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to say, you know what? If somebody told me something negative about this person, let me take a gander and get to know them for myself.
Right.
Let me find out the truth for myself. Let's not just throw the whole person away on the strength of a rumor or a lie or perception. That was probably that person's viewpoint, and they're only going to tell you what the other person did. They're not going to tell you what they themselves did. And so sometimes we waste time, or we doors can't open like possible because we're so, oh, well, they said don't even call them back because blah blah blah. Okay, stigmas are dangerous. Stigmas destroy. Stigmas play on your mind, and stigmas, we have to just stop them, period. And if perchance I do go down the same road as somebody in my family, that was a choice. It's not because I'm playing into the stigma. We have a choice. Okay? That means I gotta try. You know, if I feel like I'm leaning towards things that were not so positive in my environment, then I need to lean a little harder the opposite way and work harder to have different results.
Well, they used to say you can have white friends. I had some awesome white friends growing up, and several white friends, several white buddies. And when I was in the marching band, when I was in music, and you learn from different people, different coaches, different, and just by watching them and listening, they were great teachers. And just growing up, I ran with a whole bunch of white boys, but going into that time when the segregation started and busing, going to a different area, that was really a difference.
Integration.
Right. And you got integration going on where we get bused up to another school, when you leave an all black school and go to an all white school. And that brought about a change, in mindset and, also just in learning, being able to work with other people and a lot of white kids and things like that. And a lot of people didn't like it. They didn't like, because the first day of school, we got off the bus, they were fighting.
Throwing balls.
Coach, they were fighting on the first day of school.
Yeah, man.
We got off the bus, we was militant, and I just sit back and watch as everybody was fighting. Because I was a nice guy.
Were you fighting?
But I had my Black Power sign and all that going on and my militant look. So but you watch things change, and you learn from that, and you go further, to realize, hey, they just like any other person, And once you get to know them, white friends, and have them, everybody learns to live together, and love one another. So at that time, then that's when everybody started having white girls as girlfriends, okay? Just when they began to bust people, because you just didn't go to a white area like talking about it, or go dating a white girl like talking about it. But now it's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
It's
our climate, it's culture.
It's culture now, for sure. So all of them, a lot of the rappers, and people that's in the industry, you seeing it, the ball players, you have mixed couple, mixed babies. So it's everywhere. It just changed the whole color scheme of
those
races.
bloodlines.
Those bloodlines, right? Correct.
So that's what makes the storyline of what the media is trying to tell us is false. It's a false narrative, but the masses still seem to fall in to what the narrative of what media is trying to tell us about black and white. We actually probably get along a lot more today than we have ever done before, but the media don't want us globally to know that. Like you were saying,
that's so true.
Carlyle, right? We're marrying each other now.
Yeah. Building families and
going to school together.
Children everybody going to school together, going to church together, going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. These churches now,
the businesses together.
Right.
Yes.
You got businesses and all that, So the mega church, they're full of mixed crowds, black and white, worshiping together.
Yeah.
Yep. So in closing, if you guys would take a moment to share your contact information, as well as maybe offer a quick nugget, and we are going to wrap up our Conversations of the Soul. Guys, this has been fantastic.
Yeah, this has been awesome, guys. Anybody that's listening, understand you have the power to change your life situation. You don't have to continue to fall prey to the stigmas of this world. In fact, a lot of us, when we were born into this stuff. But when you become more aware, more conscious, more educated, understanding what's right and wrong for you, you can change the narrative over your life. Why? I know, because I have experience in this, and I know that the God that's within you purpose you to be here to make a difference and to experience this life and have an abundant life. So you can make a difference. However, if you're still struggling, if you just don't know how to get over the next hump over your life, I am a life coach. I can be reached at lifecoachkanderson@gmail.com. Again, that's lifecoachkanderson at gmail.com. My website is being rebranded. I will let you guys know once that's done, but you can also give me a call at area code 980-272-8287. Again, that's 980-272-8287. And I can always be reached on social media with just my name as Kendall Anderson on Facebook, Coach Ka_569 on Instagram, and I can be reached on Twitter at Kenny Anderson.
Awesome. Yeah, and just like growing up, you know, and with the daycare business and getting involved with the little kids, you put two kids together, whether they're white or black. First thing they're gonna do is look at each other. They're gonna hug each other. No racism there at all. You know, that is something that they are brought into, you know, and grow into being racist. So, in closing, I could be found at on Instagram. I am Mr. Carlyle. You can find me at Facebook, Carlyle E. Williams. Also give us a call at 470-418-7277. You can catch us anytime on Facebook or Instagram to follow us. Upcoming events, fashion shows coming up. We'll be having coming up. I'm going to skip Fashion Week this year in February, so I'll be getting ready for other things. Shows coming up in May, so you can reach out and see the flyers on Instagram. And but I'm thankful to be booked on new movies for this year. So I'm looking forward to being involved with some more new movies. We'll keep you posted as things progress, and upcoming movies coming out in March. Look forward to seeing Coming to America, and also seeing the new Genius Aretha. So that's going to be coming out. Also, Genius Aretha is going to be coming out on National Geographic. That's going to be exciting movie. And then that also, as well as Coming to America, that'll be coming out actually in March. Also, Coming to America. So that's going to be exciting and fun. Disney, and just bringing that out. I think it's going to be on Netflix or one of those. But we'll keep you posted. That's it.
Yes. Okay, so as we wrap up, I'm Kiki Michelle. Listen, I'm doing something new, okay? This liquid lipo, thebomb.com. Hit me up on Facebook at I am Kiki Michelle. IAMKIMICHELLE. I got you covered. This is thebomb.com, okay? If you need anything, training, business, grants, etc., reach out, let me know. Look at my website, www.IamKikiMichelle.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to Conversations of the Soul. Thank you to Boss Television Network. And thank you to all of you for sharing our broadcast.
Yeah.
Let somebody know, hey, this might be the bridge that takes them over, okay? Share this information. These conversations are special. Thanks so much. Bye.
Peace.